The Kronos project. Like I say, Kronos was multi-diverse. There was the Kronos project, and then there was, of course, Cosmos as well. Kronos, I believe, you would. It was part. It was that was the name of the project that was the Chernobyl, or the nuclear rocket in Russia. There, we were messing around with nuclear rockets in Russia, and this would be like 1700, 1800, about somewhere around in there, maybe even as early as 1200. I'm not exactly sure. Long, long ago. But the Chernobyl project, like I said, are not Chernobyl project. Although it was named Kronos, there's two parts of it. There was Kronos, and then there was Cosmos. Cosmos was basically the project. It was the name for the Russian project that was basically the Russian space program. Realistically, it was the German space program that just happened to be in Russia. Like I said, when I started building up into Russia, we found a bunch of minerals and a bunch of other stuff in Russia, and we started the transcontinental later on railway system. But we were building up in there, and we needed a launch site and stuff. So there was a couple. This is a long time ago, like year 1200 or something like that. And so the one of them was nuclear, and one of them was non-nuclear. The Kronos project, now I get them mixed up. The Kronos project, I believe, was nuclear. And actually is it's one name for a project that actually had many sides to it. That also included artificial intelligence programs and computers. There was a computer side to it. Basically, it was the code name. Basically, there was a city that was in Russia that was very advanced. You're gonna have to do some research to track this down. But that's why there's a couple cities that are like Cosmos. They're like in Russia and certain places like that. It basically was the Russian space program. You can ask Putin probably about this stuff. Go up to Putin or ask Putin about the Russian space program and or the German space program, and they'll probably and he should tell you, or one of those people should be able to tell you about pretty much the great history of Russia and their space program, and also the great history of the German space program, because there was Germany in space, and then there was also Russia in space, and those were the two old leaders of space technology and epic rockets. Like I said, there wasn't really anything in the United States or in America until like 1960 or something like that, or 1970, somewhere around in there. That was when America first had their first space program, really, realistically. So basically, there was just Russia and just Germany. Those were the only two. Those were the leader in space flight, in space travel. Was basically Germany and Russia, and we were the only ones with rockets, basically. Me, actually. LS, Lucifer Star. So anyway, I had the most advanced rockets and the first early rockets. I had been doing rockets since 1500 or something like that, year 1500, or yeah, about 1500 or before, maybe even 900 at earliest. Long, long, long ago. Like I say, long, long ago. So anyway, so you can see these cities. They became cities, and basically it was where we were doing what's called ammonium nitrate refining and other things. It's where basically Germany got their ammonium nitrate. Like I say, you'll have to ask Putin about it, because you're not going to get a straight answer from America or the United States. Putin would know. Also, any leaders, maybe anybody in Germany, probably you'd find out. Germany. You could also maybe ask the Renault family. They might know something about, basically. Pretty much, Germany had the most advanced space rocket engines and stuff like that. They were the only ones with rockets, and also Russia. But Russia only had them because I had German scientists in Russia, basically, and it was all German scientists. Like I said, we were getting we were shipping material from the Panama Canal, because basically the Panama isn't necessarily so much a river crossing. as it is just there's so much material being mined out of there and so much good rock. I mean, the rock that was coming out of coming out of Panama was just epic. I mean, there's a mountain of really, really, really hard, dense rock in Panama. We started digging into one of the mountains, and what we hit was basically a solid mountain, of pretty much. It would be closest to call it basically like solid titanium rock, or it was just something. It was a really really magnesite or something like that. I forget what the actual name of it. It's just a really really hard rock, but it was like the size of that mountain, and basically like it was all good usable material. And so once they started digging into it and then they started smelting it, we were like, yeehaw! Man, I mean, because it was so deep and we were just digging in there. I mean, it would rain a lot, but I mean, I wanted a canal through there anyway, so it was like, well, forging on. So, and like I said, we were using the water power from the river to smelt down the material, just like in the Mirage in the French Mirage dam, basically there. Same basic concept, basically high-end smelting, pretty much. Really, lots of heat, lots of coal, or lots of electricity. You know, using the electricity to basically smelt stuff. And what we're getting, of course, is aluminum and titanium and lots of stuff. Like I said, Panama was smelting about 1/3 or 2/3 of the material. 1/3 was going to Germany, and then some other material was going somewhere else. All from Panama. It was just being shipped across. I forget what the winds are, but I think you can actually. We were doing giant sailing barges. You know, just like 5 or 6 sailing barges. You just go just fill it up. So it's not really that much in coal cost. You just go right across the ocean. I forget what the trade winds are, but there's some spot along there where you can just basically point the ship. And the thing is, is that you really don't need a big crew to sail the ship. So you could actually have like 5 or 6 barges all sailing across the ocean, and certain times of the year anyway. Though it depends, but basically there's a lot of material going towards Germany. And I mean, Germany had its own mines too and stuff like that. But basically, it was a matter of where the biggest smelters were. And I had the 24 hours a day. I had like 2 or 3 big giant smelting foundries that you couldn't give them enough material basically. So, and pretty much we were doing all the smelting. So all the ore was going to Germany or someplace like that. And then later on, we were taking it other places. But pretty much, I was basically mining the whole thing, pretty much. I mean, yeah, I mean, I have a lot of big epic mines. Anyway, whatever. It's LS, and we were getting so much metal out of that. It was like ridiculous amounts of metal because it was ridiculous amounts of material. Because it used to be really high and hilly, and then we were like, anyway. So yeah. So anyway, I mean, LS, I mean, I was rich 10 times over, basically. I mean, I was, it stopped being about money, like I say, and it started being about, it's just like, making more. I mean, I love to build and I love to mine. So it's like, where going to mine next? And so, basically Panama was like the first open pit mine, basically. I mean, I've done it before. I've moved mountains, so. Anyway, the Mirage Dam. Mirage Dam was actually like my first, and that was probably around 1700 or something like that, 1800 or something like that. There were a couple of people that were trying to keep pace with me, and then it was just like, other people were like, just forget it. Bye bye. I was just like, with production capability and just mining and just like yeehaw, as much, we were dynamiting, we were nuking, we were testing out nuclear bombs, and they would just go, and it's like, okay, send in the diggers. We were just doing epic mining, basically. I mean, nobody had ever done mining like I was doing. So, I mean, anyway, yeah.